So at the Senseable City Lab, over the years, we've been deploying, pioneering, and experimenting many projects, many technologies around the world. This involved some pilots in some cities, this involved more long-standing collaborations in other parts of the world. And you want to always be very local, because a solution that works in, let's say, China doesn't necessarily work in Singapore or in Europe or in the US. Lately, we've been experimenting a different model for this. And we realized that if you are in a city, not only with a pilot project, but with researchers on the ground, liaising with the local stakeholders, being the municipality, being industries, being startups, or simply the citizens, it really makes this research to have a broader impact and a more long-lasting impact. So, over the past years, we started these initiatives, which we call the Global Sensible City Labs. We started in Singapore. Now we have local satellite labs in Amsterdam, in Stockholm. We recently opened in Dubai, and we have other cities in the pipeline. And the idea is to have multi-year collaborations with a local institution, being a university, a foundation, or an industry member. All the research is focused on that municipality or that area or that region. And we have an equal number of MIT researchers sitting in the place, in the city, in the region, and at MIT. In this way, we constantly have a flow of information, ideas exchange between MIT and still have a local presence to really engage better with the local ecosystem of stakeholders and partners. One example of this is the collaboration we had with the City of Amsterdam. With the City of Amsterdam, we started a project, and the project was very interesting and unique. It came from a question from the city saying, can you think a way to reinvent the mobility infrastructure in Amsterdam? And we said, of course, it's going to be electric, it's going to be probably autonomous in the future, but as Amsterdam has more canal and waterways than roads, why don't we think, instead of a self-driving car, why don't we think about a self-driving boat? And that started a project that continued for almost 5 years, where we really reinvented, or actually invented, a modular self-driving boat, level 4 and 5 autonomy, for several city services. Not only for bringing people from A to B, but for really addressing some of the city needs. For example, trash collection. There was a good project that we had with the city, but that triggered a more broader engagement, so that now we have a permanent lab in Amsterdam, the Sensible Amsterdam Lab, on broader topics, for example, climate change, for example, mitigation effects. And that is something that is really possible only with a very, very deep interaction between the city and the local stakeholders. One of the projects in the lab that we've been developing over the years is how to use our city infrastructure in different ways. And one of the things that we thought is that we have many cars around. So can we use cars in a different way, in a way that maybe it's useful for not only bringing people from A to B, but for providing data to the city administration, to the citizens, and to third parties. So we've been developing some sensors, modular sensors, to attach on vehicles, magnetic, solar powered, so that you can gather a lot of information from the city. We've been starting doing this for detecting air quality in the city. The air quality in our city is a very important and crucial problem, and it varies really meter by meter. In the same street, you could really have the best air quality in the city and few meters away the worst air quality in the city. So being able to detect this, it's really crucial. But then we realized that there are so many other information that we can detect. And a recent project that I'm really passionate about is using the same platform for a totally different problem, which is understanding the tree health in our cities. So we know that trees are super important in our cities, not only because they mitigate temperature, because they fix humidity, but also they provide a good environment for people to live in. The problem is that healthy trees are good for mitigating also effects of climate change, but non-healthy trees do not. So how can we detect the health status of our green canopy and infrastructure? It turns out that this is done currently with either manual inspection by the city officials or with satellite images. If you do it from the above, you can see all the coverage from the above, but you don't have a lot of information from the trunk. So why don't we have cars going around and taking images from the below on the trunk, the log, and on the lower part of the coverage. So this is something that we're currently doing. We are doing this with several partners, and we started this in Italy. We are doing this with the Forest Monitoring Service in Italy. We have some local companies supporting the hardware. This research can really revolutionize the way we take care and we maintain all the green infrastructure that we have in the cities.